Chapter 1. Jenny. The bus pulled into Fire Beach, Illinois, a little after 5. Jenny's stomach rumbled. She'd eaten a Pop-Tart and some crackers on the way, but her stomach was craving real food, especially protein. Unfortunately, she had little money left. She'd have to ask around about a job first and hope she could score some food after. When the bus stopped, she grabbed her bags and stepped off. The bus station of Fire Beach didn't look much different than the one she had left in Indiana, except that she could hear water. She briefly wondered how far the beach was. Perhaps one day she would be able to enjoy it, but that day was not today. She scanned the area and noticed a woman sitting on a bench with a notepad on her lap. With no luggage near her, it was a safe bet that the woman lived locally. Jenny bit her lip, but decided to approach her. "Excuse me, do you live around here?" The woman glanced up and offered a friendly smile. "I do. What can I do for you?" "I just got into town and I'm hoping to find a job. Do you know of any place that's hiring?" The woman's gaze searched Jenny's face, making her want to squirm under the discerning eyes. With a stylish shirt and smartly tailored pants, this woman looked so put together that Jenny felt even frumpier. She'd put on her most modest shirt and the nicest pair of pants she had, but it didn't hold a candle to this woman's polished look. "Actually, I might know of just the place. My name is Tia. What's yours?" Jenny paused as she thought about the question. Should she give her real name? It would probably be required to get a job, but it would also make it easier for Carl to find her. Still, this woman was offering to help her. Honesty seemed like the best option for now, and then perhaps she could ask whoever hired her to call her something later. "It's Ginny Darling." A wide smile split Tia's lips, and her eyes twinkled. Ginny Darling. That is a great name. It sounds like it came right out of a book. Jenny wanted to roll her eyes. If her name were in a book, it wouldn't be a nice one. No sweet romance or fantasy book for her. No, since her mother passed away, it had been one punch after the other. She'd survived her father's drunken rages until she was 18 and legal to be on her own. Unfortunately, she hadn't been the best at managing finances when she first left home, and she'd ended up losing her apartment and walking the streets. And then Carl had found her. She suppressed a shudder and tried to force a smile. "Thank you, I think." A silvery laugh bubbled out of Tia's throat, and she shook her head as she stood. "I'm sorry. I'm an author, and I see stories everywhere. In fact, that's what I was doing here. People watching." "People watching?" Jenny wasn't sure she had heard the woman correctly. "Yep. I like to go to public places and watch people. How they walk, their mannerisms, their reactions. Then I try to use those same characteristics when I write my characters. I feel like it makes them more real." "Ah, that makes sense." Jenny loved books. It was the one thing Carl had allowed her. In addition to her grocery runs, she'd been allowed to visit the local library and check out books, as long as they didn't keep her from keeping the house clean, and she stopped reading when he returned home. She wasn't sure she could even count how many books she had read in the last year. "I do love reading." "I do too," Tia said with a smile. "It's a bit of a walk to the place I'd like to take you, but it's relatively flat. Are you up for it?" "Definitely," Jenny said with a swift nod of her head. The sooner she got to this place, the sooner she might get a job and something to eat. Of course, then she had to find a place to stay, but she figured she could take one worry at a time.